Mind-blowing style fact number 1. Men have been the predominant users of makeup through most of recorded history. Yeah, let's go back 10,000 years. You're about to go on the hunt. What are you going to do? You're going to put on that camouflage so that you can better track and catch that animal. You're about to go into a battle. What are you going to do? You're going to put on that battle paint so that you can strike fear in the heart of your enemy. Now, you may be saying that's a bit of a stretch, Antonio. Okay, let's go to 4000 BC, ancient Egypt. What do we see? The leaders, the pharaohs, the priests, they are all wearing makeup, especially eyeliner. 3000 BC, China. What do we see? That they're actually wearing nail polish to signify your class in society. Gentlemen, makeup started with us. And in today's video, I've got 10 mind-blowing style facts that, this one's going to be fun. Ready, guys? Let's get into it. Mind-blowing style fact number 2, gentlemen, men are dying to look good. Men put their lives on the line to look sharp. So number 1 is they were actually shaving. So shaving, for the most part, is pretty safe. But if you get yourself a nasty cut a couple hundred years ago and you didn't know that this could lead to a complication or an infection, you're in bad shape. Just ask Lord Carnarvon. He's the guy that went into King Tut's tomb, noticed probably that he was wearing makeup, and within 3 months, boom, he is dead from a complication of a shaving cut. Another example of something, so 200 years ago, the detachable collar hit the scene, but there became some type of craze to get these things really tight, and men loved it. Well, you know what happens when you put a tight collar and you button it up with 2 to 3 buttons around your neck and you start to sweat, you start to cut off the airflow. You start to cut off the circulation, and you cut off that circulation, very quickly you find yourself on the floor, and if you don't get that thing cut off, you are going to die. They used to call those things father killers. Style fact number 3, men and flowers, they go together very well. And in fact, if you know your history, you'll know that flowers are very manly, are very masculine. One of the things that they would do when they would take over an area, especially Alexander the Great, is he would plant roses. Julius Caesar, another lover of roses. The Romans loved their roses because they symbolized connection with their gods. The smelling of them, thought it was basically an otherworldly experience. Now, as men, where can we pull this off? In our wardrobe. Look, a floral pattern right here in my shirt. I've got a floral pattern right here in my pocket square. This tie has a floral pattern. So this right here, this little boutonniere is actually, and boutonnieres in general, were a symbol of flowers getting pinned on the lapel when a soldier was going into combat. But this red poppy right here after World War I was known as the Remembrance Poppy. And any military man knows that when you wear this, you're basically showing respect for those that have died in combat. Now, these beautiful roses right here, guys, hopefully is a reminder that Valentine's Day is just around the corner. We're talking a week away. Do not forget about this, guys. And I want you to go check out 1-800-Flowers. I'm linking to them down in the description. They're the paid sponsor of today's video and an amazing company. You know why? Because they will make it easy for you to give flowers. Guys, in the last 24 hours, I received these flowers from 1-800-Flowers, and I can tell you they're beautiful. What I love about it, it's freezing here in Wisconsin. So they came in a protective bag, and I pull them out. They look beautiful. They're picked at the peak of their freshness. Another thing I liked about it is they've got a tracking system. So you can see where the flowers are at if you're worried that someone's not going to be there to receive them. At the end of the day, guys, you don't want to forget. So that's another thing I love is you can go in there and you can schedule, okay, I want them there at this day, and you can schedule far in advance so you don't have to think about it. And again, you don't have to just give to your wife or girlfriend. You can give to your mother, your sister. You can give to your brother. You can give to anyone. Now, there's a special deal down there. To get 18 beautiful roses for only $29.99, I want you to go to 1-800-Flowers.com/RMRS. Again, that's 1-800-Flowers.com/RMRS. Mind-blowing style fact number 4. Pink was originally a man's color, which I know is hard for a lot of you guys to fathom, but yes, pink, because of its proximity to red, was believed to be a warlike type of color. And it was something that was worn by both sexes, but men especially. In fact, if you go back and you look at The Great Gatsby, you'll see that he wore a pink suit. Now, it was believed that maybe this was a little bit more lower class, but it still showed that this was a strong masculine color. Then in the 1960s and 70s, something happened. We saw clothing manufacturers start to divide colors for young children, for babies. And they said, we're going to make blue for boys, we're going to make pink for girls. And the rest is history. Mind-blowing style fact number 5. Throughout most of recorded history, men have been the wearers of jewelry. Why? Because it symbolized power. It symbolized wealth. It allowed you to show the world what you had. And it wasn't just about the gold and the silver and all the diamonds and the rubies and stuff like that, but it was also about the colors, certain types of clothing. Purple was a signal of royalty. A lot of this was just simply to show that you had something that others could not have. Why was purple? Because it actually was a very labor-intensive process to get this type of colors. And there were certain laws about who could wear what types of jewelry, who could wear what types of clothing. All of this was to symbolize who was in charge. Now, this next mind-blowing fact is really interesting, but all men about 100 years ago used to wear dresses up to the age of 6 or 7. Why? Breeches or pants were very difficult to take off. And if you are a young boy and you're potty training, you just need something that's very simple. If you're having a large family, you want clothing that can be passed on to either sex. At that point, everyone is wearing a dress up to about the age of 6 or 7 when they can basically take down their pants themselves. So for practicality purposes, most men, your great-great-great-grandfather was probably wearing a dress. Next on the mind-blowing style facts, hey, high heels started with men. Now, I've talked about how heels initially started so that a man could stay up in a stirrup. But interesting things would happen throughout fashion trends. We would see that somebody would come in with a little bit higher heels. Oh, they look taller. All of a sudden, we started seeing platform shoes. We started seeing incredibly high heels. We saw high heels that were painted red. All of a sudden, these fashion trends came in, and the first high heels out there, yes, belonged to men. Now, eventually, women took this over, but hey, it started with us guys. Mind-blowing style fact number 8. Men look at themselves in the mirror more than women on average. So this is based off a study that showed men on average are checking themselves in the mirror 23 times a day. Women 16 times a day. Now, the study, I went through and looked at it. It didn't actually talk about how much time they're looking in the mirror, what actually they're looking at in exacting details. And I did think the population size was relatively small. But I want to hear from you guys down in the comments. Do you agree? Does this sound right? Do you know men that actually check themselves in the mirror 23 times a day? Now, this next mind-blowing style fact I've talked about before, but basically the more clothing you wear, the more competent, the more intelligent you will appear. Now, this is within bounds, so we're talking about normal clothing here. But basically, if you expose skin, so if you wear a short sleeve shirt, if you're wearing a shirt that opens up right here in the front area, if you're not wearing a tie, you basically are starting to show more skin. You're wearing shorts, you are going to be perceived, and we're assuming it's the same man, same face, everything else being the same, as less intelligent than a guy that's wearing clothing that covers himself up. This is the same for men and for women, but very interesting. So if you're going in to give a presentation, don't wear shorts. Mind-blowing style fact number 10. One of America's most patriotic songs, Yankee Doodle Dandy, is actually about fashion, and no one seems to know this. So if you go back and you look at the original song, Yankee Doodle went to town, riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his hat, and called it macaroni. So with that song, no one seems to know what is a macaroni. A macaroni referred to a British man who went and traveled throughout Europe and came back with all the fashion and the dandyisms of continental Europe, but really had no idea what he was talking about. It was basically they were making fun of the Americans who seemed to think that they could just put a feather in their cap and think of themselves as noblemen. So the British created the song making fun of the Americans. The Americans said, this is a great tune, let's just sing it. And the British were like, what? We're trying to make fun of you guys. And we just took the song, loved it, and ended up winning the war. So little things like that just make me laugh because people hear macaroni, they think it's referring to the pasta. No, it's referring to this outlandish style of wearing a huge wig with a tiny hat with a feather in it. All right, gents, now it's your turn. I want to hear from you down in the comments. Which of these mind-blowing style facts actually did blow your mind? You're like, I had no idea, Antonio. I want to hear from you guys down in the comments. And don't forget, Valentine's Day, it's right around the corner. Do not be the guy that forgets about his wife or his sister or his mother. You can go into 1-800-FLOWERS. I'm linking to them down in the description. Use the code I'm putting down there, guys, so that you can schedule this. You can have it off your mind, and you can make sure beautiful flowers are delivered. Guys, like I said, I just got these in the last 24 hours. They are beautiful, well taken care of. They've got that tracking system. They make it easy. 18 beautiful roses for only $29.99. I want you to go to 1-800-FLOWERS.com/RMRS. Thank you for guys being amazing supporters of what we do. And that's it, guys. Take care and love your flowers. See you in the next video.